Okay, stimulus diffusion is when an underlying principle changes, but the overall idea is spread. Give me an example. Stimulus diffusion. Okay, I have an example for you that I heard, I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago. They were talking about it on the radio, and they were discussing the idea of Christian rap music, okay? What is the overall idea that's being spread? What types of things? Okay, think about it. What concept is being spread? Okay, Christianity. What other concept could possibly be being spread? Rap. Okay, good. So let's look at it. We can look at it two ways, correct? If we look at, let's say, rap, for example, and the spread of rap music, okay, then we could say that it has actually diffused to the Christian population, okay, and actual, like, Christian, okay, singers through stimulus diffusion, because, okay, the overall idea is being spread. What types of overall ideas would you hear in the rap music? Okay, true. Go back to rap. Think about it. If they've heard rap music and they're like, man, that is catchy, inappropriate, but it is catchy, let's change the lyrics. The underlying principle that's being changed is what? The lyrics. The underlying principle is being changed. So lyrics are no longer going to be about inappropriate things. I won't name them. Okay, they won't be about inappropriate things. Instead, they're going to be about, okay, Christianity. However, okay, singing some sort of like 1940s hymnal, okay, they are actually using rap because that was a well-received, okay, sound. So what parts of rap are they going to continue? Okay, rhythm, maybe the beat, maybe instruments. What else? Okay, good. So we would say maybe the tempo, the flow. Yes. Oh, good. All right, good. All right, the flow. What about? And I want you to think about it. If they were to make a music video, okay, a music video, are you gonna? What's that? They're gonna dress what? They're gonna emulate, okay, probably artists. Okay, so rap artists. And I'm going to say like a rap artist persona, right? You're not going to find like this guy in a suit, okay, that's just rapping into a microphone. It could, right? It happens, okay? But there's actually a really good example of this. A couple of you will know him. He's kind of old though, so it's been a while. Modest Yahoo? Anybody? No? Okay. Modest Yahoo is actually a Jewish rapper. And so he used this in order to change, okay, basically move this idea. Think of the example in class. We talked about a Mick Lobster. Where would a Mick Lobster work? In Maine. Okay, in Maine. However, okay, the whole idea that they took was the whole idea of like a Mick Lobster, something that was handheld, it's in a sandwich, it comes back every now and then, super appealing, okay, but instead of having a McRib, they made it, okay, purposefully made it, okay, suitable for their audience, which was lobster.
This is a really controversial video, one that came out a long time ago. It was Southern near the Southern Baptist Church, something like that, and we made a music video talking about Jesus. Well, it's not really like school appropriate.
Okay, good. Well, if it's not school appropriate, we'll keep it there. We'll talk later. Okay. Good. All right. Questions about diffusion. If they asked you what type of diffusion was being used, okay. Again, do you see why I'm saying cultural diffusion is probably not a good answer? Okay. They are probably going to give you cultural diffusion as a distractor, then relocation diffusion and expansion. This one is easy. Relocation diffusion, it doesn't spread very quickly. Think about it. It's not someone, okay, passing it down to you. Okay, it is just something that they're taking with them. Give me an example of relocation diffusion. Okay, Amish, absolutely. What else? Yeah, religion. What type of religion? Ethnic or universalizing? Ethnic, very good. So, for example, if they are Shinto, let's say they're from Japan and they're Shinto, okay, are they going to come over next door, okay, and be the authority on Shintoism and make you convert? Probably not, okay? Is it contagious? Are you just going to contagiously catch it? No. Okay, and then stimulus is actually kind of an interesting idea. Could they maybe share Shintoism ideas with you? And could you accept it and maybe blend it with your own? Potentially. Okay, and that's how a lot of new ideas are formed. Questions about that? Excellent. All right, cool. When we talk about other types of culture, okay, and just like cultural things that we need to discuss, let's talk acculturation versus assimilation. We seem to continue to kind of struggle with these. Okay, acculturation versus assimilation. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Right now, still in chapter 4. Okay, although it could also be easily moved into chapter 7, ethnicity. All right, acculturation versus assimilation. First of all, a lot of people think it's when an immigrant comes into an area, and that's not always the case. Could people actually be sort of invaded by a different culture, and then they have to acculturate or assimilate? Example. Okay, potentially, yeah. Native Americans are probably the best example. Think about it. Okay, the culture, the European culture actually comes in, sort of invades their area. They have to acculturate or assimilate. Which one were they forced to do? Assimilate. Very good. Assimilation is a total loss of one's own culture. They might continue to speak their native language, but only in their homes, okay, not where they would be heard. Assimilation a lot of times was being actually sort of carried out through charter schools, if you remember. Okay, the whole idea that you would get in trouble if you spoke your native language. Okay. Assimilation was also used because a lot of times people did not want to stand out, because standing out oftentimes meant discrimination. Think about it. What era of the United States history did we start having a lot of quota laws? 1920s. Okay, 1920s. We are in a period of isolationism, so we kind of like don't want to be involved in anything. We just got done with World War I. Okay, the 1920s is going to be an age of like you want to just blend in. You want to kind of get into the United States, but once you're there, unfortunately, there's a whole lot of discrimination. Okay, so you weren't super loud and proud about your culture. Acculturation is a little bit different. Acculturation is only changing what? Good. Enough to survive in what ways? Yep, economically and socially. Good. Okay, give me an example of one thing that they would probably have to change, or at least learn. Language. Okay, good. And what else? Yeah, definitely learn the new currency, I would agree. What about clothing, way of dress? Maybe, okay. Although I would say that it's gotten a lot better. People can walk around in like their ethnic clothing, and it's not as big of a deal. What year would you say acculturation starts to really pop up? Yeah, absolutely. Probably late 60s, to 1970s. Why? The Civil Rights Movement. Okay? I know that's really small up there. Sorry. I'll flip the paper. All right, cool. So acculturation versus assimilation. Guys, this is how I remember them, and it's inappropriate, Okay, and apparently I'm putting it on YouTube. All right. Here's how I remember. If, okay, someone wants me to completely assimilate, they're basically telling me that who I am is not okay, and I need to let go of every single thing about myself that would help me identify with a different culture. Essentially, they are being that. Okay? Think about it though, seriously. These people who are moving in, okay, are basically not, and sometimes it doesn't necessarily, like, it's not actually forcing them, like physically forcing them, but there's definitely like the subversive sort of like discrimination where that is basically the feeling like you are going to change, and that's it. Okay, up here, acculturation, okay, you're not actually having to change completely. It's not as severe. This one is severe, lose everything. This one not as severe. Yeah. I'm sorry? 1960s, 1970s. Yeah, civil rights movement. Okay, and then the last thing about that, because of this, we actually have what we call the amalgamation theory. And you guys will probably remember this, the amalgamation theory. Amalgamation theory says we are no longer a melting pot. Okay? We are acculturating instead. Amalgamation. A-M-A-L, amal, G-A-M-A, and then shun. Amalgamation theory. And this should be in your chapter 7 or chapter 4 notes. Okay, one or the other. Okay, we are acculturating now, not assimilating. So for example, I always like to put it like this. We are no longer a melting pot, right? That idea is gone. We are now a what? I like a salad. I think that's a good metaphor. Okay, because think about it. If it's a melting pot, whoever comes into this American culture has to lose everything about themselves, really, okay, in order to be what we would consider American and not prejudiced against. Today, we have a salad. Everything that goes into the salad, it doesn't actually melt together. Okay, for example, like, okay, croutons and lettuce don't become cretis, right? The croutons are going to keep their features, lettuce is going to keep their features, okay? And therefore, it just makes the actual salad more interesting. We are a more interesting country because we have gone through this civil rights movement and we are starting to see acculturation instead of assimilation. Okay? Excelente. All right, couple other things about culture that we need to tackle. And I will put this back so that you can see. Okay, what's the difference between, for example, a habit and a custom? Yeah, habit is a single individual, and a custom is what? A group of people. Okay, and it's been repeated to the point where, so it's used to the point where it is considered sort of the norm. Okay, a habit is just one single person, okay, doing something over and over. When we talk about, okay, folk culture habits, pop culture habits, let's